We know it must be very cold in Illinois this morning, and I'm not just referring to the weather. The impeachment trial of Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich is underway there, and for the second day in a row, he won't be there.
It will reflect that the governor has failed to appear or to answer the article of impeachment, either in person or by counsel. Pursuant to Impeachment Trial Rule 11B, the trial shall proceed as if the governor had entered a plea of not guilty.
Governor Blagojevich is accused of trying to sell Barack Obama's Senate seat. Prosecutors in this impeachment trial are trying to prove that he abused his power, but he's not there to defend himself. Instead, he is here with us. Governor Blagojevich, good morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning, Maggie. Thanks for having me.
I heard you yesterday in interview after interview say that you were boycotting this trial because you believe it to be unfair in that it doesn't allow you to call witnesses. I have to say I found that very unusual and, yes, unfair. So I did some research, talked to some legal experts, and I found the Senate resolution, and in it, Rule number 15, entitled Subpoena of Witnesses, Documents, or Other Materials and Request to Admit Additional Evidence. I learned that, in fact, you can call witnesses.
You should look at Rule 15F, which says that if the U.S. Attorney says you can't have certain witnesses that you want to call, they can't be called. And the heart of their impeachment are allegations that I violated some criminal laws, which I didn't. And that rule prohibits me or even the senators who are impeaching me from bringing witnesses to prove up the case. They are prohibited from actually proving up the charges, and I'm prohibited from bringing in witnesses to rebut the charges. And I'm even prohibited from bringing in all of the tapes of those telephone conversations, which I believe will tell the full story.
Okay,
Unlike Richard Nixon, who was dealing with issues of tapes, who didn't want his tapes heard. I want mine heard. I'd like the full story to be told. And if the Senate would allow me to have evidence like that, I sure would like to be there so I can prove my innocence.
I did read Rule 15F. I read the whole thing, and it does limit the number of witnesses you can call, but you can still call some. But let's say, for argument's sake, that you want to have the right to call any witness that you want. Why didn't you challenge this? If it's as unfair as you say, a lawyer like you, a defendant like you, who says he's not guilty, would have challenged it.
Well, that's what I'm doing here. This is the only
No, but I mean in a legal way, before the trial got underway, so that you could be there represented in the way that you wanted to be.
Those senators who are impeaching me are the ones who make the rules. They're the judges in this process.
You could have gone to a court of law and challenged it and stopped it.
We explored all of that, but there is no precedent to that. This is a quasi-judicial process that has a tremendous political overtone to it. The courts are loath to get involved in something like this. We've obviously explored that. If I had a judicial remedy, I would have been there a long time ago. Unfortunately, I don't. And all I'm asking for...
But why didn't you try?
Because every precedent that we looked at said, and there was a case...
You could have been the first.
No, there was a case of a governor in Arizona who tested all of that and was thrown out of court in each and every one of those cases. The more compelling argument, I think, is to tell the people of America that if a Senate and a legislative body can remove a governor who twice was elected by the people, a governor who's been accused of things but is eager to show he didn't do the things they say, by preventing that governor from bringing in witnesses and evidence, and they're not even proving up the allegations that they're saying that I did, then if they can do that to me, that can happen to any citizen, and it's a dangerous precedent for governors in Illinois and governors all across America, because when a governor is elected by people and he's fighting to try to get things done like health care or protect our seniors or not raise taxes, like when a legislature wants to, governors are going to be afraid to take the legislature on because they'll set a precedent here where you can be thrown out of office with just mere accusations, not given a chance to defend yourself.
Okay, so you say this trial is unfair. You didn't challenge the rules because you didn't think that you could win the challenge, but you can challenge the accusations right here, right now. You have a national audience. Your electorate is watching. Tell them why they shouldn't believe the snippets of conversations that we heard the U.S. Attorney cite. And let me just read it for those of us, those people who haven't heard it. Referring to Barack Obama's Senate seat, you say, I've got this thing and it's bleeping golden, and I'm not just giving it up for bleeping nothing. What did you mean by that?
Well, there's all kinds of interpretations. That could mean I want them to help me pass a jobs bill. I want them to help me expand health care. I want them to help us come in Illinois and help us do the politics to do right by people. There's a million interpretations that you can take with one little snippet of a conversation. That's why I'm urging the Senate that's trying to throw me out of office to have every one of those tapes heard in the full context so the whole story could be told. And when the whole story is told, you'll see that I was doing what was right for the people and trying to make the right decision with a lot of different considerations and ideas and potential candidates, including somebody like Oprah Winfrey, who was for a while discussed internally as a potential candidate to succeed President Obama.
Oprah Winfrey, who's one of the richest people in the world, was considered, and you're accused of trying to get a lot of money for this seat. I mean, do you know how that sounds to people at home?
Well, of course it does. It's an awful thing. And how would you like to be me? How would you like to have accusations
I wouldn't. That's
like
why
that?
I would fight. I would try everything. I would subpoena these tapes. I would challenge it, even though there's no precedent.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm here, because this we believe is the best possible forum that I have. The senators refuse to change their rules. We've asked them. We've explored the judicial remedies, and I'm at a place now where the best I can do is appeal to the people and argue a much larger fundamental issue, and that is the fundamental constitutional right of every citizen to be able to challenge somebody who accuses them falsely of doing something wrong. And if this could happen to a governor, it could happen to you and any citizen in America.
All right, we are going to continue speaking with you in just a little bit. Thank you so much for your time this morning.